You see, before deterrence, there was something that came in Iran. There was something that Iran did before deterrence. And what they did is called strategic patience. What is strategic patience? The Iranian Revolution started in 1979. 1979 to this month is circa 47, as into this year, is circa 47, 48 years. Now, since 1979 till date, America, Israel, and the Western and Asian allies, essentially almost all of the countries of the world that America and Israel have been able to cajole and coerce, have essentially descended on Iran with sanctions. Iran had been pressured economically, Iran had been pressured diplomatically. Iran had essentially been impoverished as much as possible. Iran had been impoverished so much so that the poverty, the collective national poverty, so seeped into the country that if you take a snapshot, a snap video of traffic on any major road in Tehran, you will see that the vast majority of the cars in that traffic are old, ancient cars. Cars modern young men and women cannot even relate with, like models the world has actually forgotten. That is how much of collective poverty the collective waste have been able to seep into the Iranian ecosystem. However, when this war started on February 28th between Iran on one side and America and Israel on the other side, you would notice that Iran was absolutely not fighting like a poor country. Iran was absolutely not fighting like a country that had actually been economically subdued effectively by those sanctions that had lasted for 47, 48 years. Iran was fighting like a country that had all of the money, all of the resources, all of the diplomatic heft, and all of the international assistance it needed to what? To fight. How was Iran able to fight, in a way that its capacity was not supposed to, to demonstrate? It is the concept of strategic patience. The English people will say, Iran stooped to conquer. They presented a public facade of a poor, struggling, and begging country. Instead, the little resources they had, they used them smartly. They developed all or almost all of their weapon systems at home. That way, they were able to manufacture their weapons with the cheapest possible materials and cost, such that 20,000, $30,000 drones of Iran were actually destroying $1.1 billion radars of America. That is the stiff financial imbalance. Iran did not just demonstrate strategic patience and the fact that they were developing their military industrial complex quietly. Iran also demonstrated strategic patience in even their communications, their national, diplomatic, and international communications with the rest of the world. How? Iran continued to present itself as an underdog. Iran continued to present itself as an ostensibly weak country that needed as much help as possible. Iran continued to present itself as an oppressed country that needed the help and assistance of other countries to withstand the sanctions choke that America and Israel and their allies put on its neck. Such that when you think of Iran, you are thinking of a country that is poor, that is wretched, that has been essentially subdued by the collective West. And then countries who could resist the sanction pressures of America, countries like China, countries like Russia to an extent offered whatever help they could offer. So, one of the reasons why Iran is able to create and maintain effective deterrence against America and Israel in this war is that Iran successfully deceived America and Israel across 47, 48 years with the concept of strategic patience. When Chief Bolagi was alive, he would describe this kind of scenario as sit down look. Hmm? Sit down look essentially means sit and watch. While America and Israel were sit down looking, while Iran was sit downing and looking. America and Israel assumed all Iran was doing was sit downing and looking. However, Iran was also planning and scheming, and they were able to plan and scheme essentially across 47, 48 years. And when they started acting against the the expectations of every global war analyst of note, Iran was performing what they never expected. Iran was establishing deterrence in areas where we never thought they could, because they had successfully deflected attention of the world from the military preparations with the concept of strategic deterrence. I hope you learned a lesson from this. Once again, please don't forget to like, to follow, to share, to comment, and to ask your questions, and we will gladly answer them. See you in the next episode.